the meeting of the Bay County Veterans Affairs Committee to order Tuesday, July 16th, 3 p.m. Roll call. Did I do it? Roll call.
Mike Briganti.
Present.
Troy Stewart.
Present.
John Van Tall.
Present.
Marilyn Lazars.
Excused.
And Vaughn Begek.
Present. Our minutes are being prepared. We'll have to vote on them for the next meeting. We didn't get a copy of the minutes from the last meeting, so we'll be voting on them at the next meeting then. Citizens input. You got it.
Last meeting you guys had, the question come up, I don't know why, regarding the Vets Council and the tax exempt status. Actually, I'm glad this came up because I wasn't aware of anything. The Vets Council, not this group, is in fact a registered 501c3. The reason we don't find it when you look up the government website. This was founded in 1988, or created in 1988, which is well before my time. And never has there been a 990 file. In order to file 990, you first have to file a form 1023. According to our CPA, which is Guadala Janke, Mark Janke's old outfit, I'm sure you folks remember Mark. What are his notes here? You have to file this 1023 first. It's a 6-page form. It's a very lengthy process. It costs about $1,000 to do this. But it's not worth it because we don't make enough money. We never have. So we still are a valid organization. End of discussion. Any questions?
So not a 501c3, not a 501c4.
No. But we are a registered, even though it doesn't show up on the bottom of that, when you type in that 38 dash blah, 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 whatever it is. It doesn't come up. We are a valid organization.
If you don't file your 990 for 3 years in a row,
Right.
your tax exempt status is automatically revoked.
No. Unless you do this 1023. And I'll be doggone if we're going to do that. We don't make any money.
Well, that, even with the 990, when you file that, if you made less than $50,000 a year, you still have to file.
No.
Yes, you do.
No. No, you don't.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If the Bay Vets
Foundation.
Council doesn't make any money, why do you have to be a nonprofit organization?
I don't know. Before my time, I don't have a clue.
You know, in my opinion, Bay Vets Council is just a coordinating element. You don't make any money. You don't have a budget.
No.
You don't do anything with the money. The money is in this organization now.
Yeah. I mean, you got to remember, this was created in 1988.
They
I don't have a clue.
They do get donations.
Donations is fine. That's not an issue. Donations isn't an issue.
It is with the IRS.
If the individual who made the donation wants it to be tax deductible.
Yeah.
And I
That's
have,
an issue.
yes, and I have given this number out
Yeah.
within the past 3 years to various people. Nobody has a problem with it.
You know, I'm pretty much sure when you do your income taxes, unless you're a gazillionaire, and you put down, I donated $100 to Bay Vets Council, ain't nobody gonna question it.
Hell no, there's not a problem here.
But they could.
They could.
Yeah,
The IRS.
yeah,
The
IRS did.
IRS could, but hey, the IRS has got bigger things.
I'm giving them this number. Lord knows how many people.
That's your EIN.
Yeah. It's never been a problem. Why it's got to be brought up now, I don't know and I don't understand.
We probably need to maybe have our legal person look at it a little bit, maybe Amber. I mean, if people donate and they know that you're not charitable and then they can't claim it on their taxes, that's fine, as long as you put that on your letter to them saying we're not a 501c3 or a 501c4, you can't claim this money on your income tax. I mean, you would probably need to put that on a...
Well, that's their problem as far as I'm concerned. Whether donate or not to donate.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue is.
I don't know either. I
How
don't
many
know.
people do you have donate to you guys? You
The
get
last-
stuff from the honor guard, that's about it.
It's reimbursed, yeah, but we don't. If we get $500 a year lately, I'd buy a tuxedo.
I think...
Well,
but
you wouldn't look good in a tuxedo.
do you have more than 25,000 though in the foundation, Bay Area Foundation? I think there's a limit for that 990 form. There's a short form and a long form. If you have over, I believe it's 25,000, then you have to do a longer form.
Yeah.
You probably don't make that much, but how much do you have invested in the foundation? There's money over there.
Which foundation?
They have money in the Bay City, the local foundation, or whatever the title of it.
Overseas money for the Bay Veterans Council. They got money that they get investments from. And
Who does?
Bay Vets Council.
No, what?
Community foundation. You have
All
money,
across the
right? You have
train.
money in the community foundation.
Yeah.
But you get, Vets Council gets money out of there.
No, only when we request it.
Yeah, but it's still your money. It's the Vets Council money.
No, it's not. It's the Veterans Perpetual Memorial or something. It's not in the Vets Council name.
I think we probably need
That's a
some.
secret. Where's this money at? Where's this hiding out?
Yeah.
This
Well,
is just-
it's been in there for a while. They've had it in the foundation.
Yeah, I get a report every 6 months, something like that. But it's not Vets Council.
Really? Who runs it?
The Bay Area found the train station over there.
Who are they?
Yeah, but they run it, but you still have, it's your money invested in the foundation.
But
So-
keep in mind
or
that
the
money,
perpetual fund, whatever the title is. Yeah.
that money in that foundation
Yeah.
is strictly for Vets Park and nothing else. Nothing else. We can't pay drivers. We can't pay anything. It has to go to Vets Park, which is where you get our flag.
Money comes out of that foundation. Where does it go? It goes to
American Legion.
Doesn't go to the American Legion, I can tell you that right
Well,
now.
it comes to me, but I buy flags. That's what I do. I buy flags. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when it was.
Is that the monument committee money?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the money committee is a separate group. We'd have to look into that. I think there's a monument committee that has a separate fund, unless they put it in there. We'd have to find out if that's the same as the monument.
But
And then
Fun.
it gets put on the monument committee.
Yeah.
again, who cares?
Well, the IRS might care.
We don't.
According to the city, they run Vets Park.
It's
How
all
come they're not paying for
Vets.
everything?
It's all Vets Park stuff.
I think we need to start talking about budget. So I think we need to start looking in a little more detail of where all the money is, and what we're liable for, and what's 501c3 and what's not 501c3. So probably going to need maybe our lawyer or maybe a tax person to look at it, a CPA maybe, which we have some money to spend. So I think we better be legal if we're
Right.
doing
Yeah,
stuff with the money.
That foundation, not the Veterans Foundation, the train station, whatever the hell it's called, Bay Area Foundation.
Right.
That money in that account is strictly to be used for Vets Park and nothing else.
You can set-
Nothing else.
You can set it up that way.
Yes.
Under that fund, who does that community foundations report to
Right.
the Vets Council?
Right.
No, they send it. They send it to me because I'm on the,
Right, and you get the report.
Mike Burke is on it.
Yeah, but it gets sent to somebody.
It gets sent to me.
And how are those people selected then to make the bylaws for that foundation?
Yeah.
That
I don't know, and I don't, well, it was passed down to me 10 years ago, whenever Dave Glosser left. Yeah.
It's just a question along that line, because I was going to bring it up later about out here we have the wall with some names on it, and it's been brought to my attention that there's a World War II veteran that was deceased in the war that's name is not on there, who's a Bay City resident, which I haven't had a chance. Mark brought it to my attention. They have a church locally that his name is listed as a veteran from Bay City who was killed in World War II. He's not on the wall out here. So the question would be, who pays for putting that name on the wall out here? If you're just doing Best Park, you say, so you're not doing this. So it probably would be up to our committee then to pay for it.
If you remember here, a few years ago when they re-landscaped Vets Park, the mayor at the time, his wife, what was her name?
Yeah.
But they did all that. That foundation was not the Vets Council.
So we probably need to talk to the foundation and find out from the monument committee if if they have a separate fund in there. I know there's a monument committee who did the helicopter, so the helicopter is sort of a separate entity.
I
and
believe
maybe
that's
the
right.
Vets Council, which is separate from our soldiers and sailors. So I think we need to sort of unwind who's in charge of what money and what paperwork we need to do. And if people are making donations, they should be informed if they are or not charitable donations, because if you report it, you're the one that gets in trouble with the IRS. It's not the people that say they're charitable and not charitable. So I think we need to do that in order to let the people know who make donations that they're legal donations. Something to put on the agenda.
We need to come up with a line and block on who's doing what associated with veterans in the county.
I agree. I was going to say, all the vets organizations within the county, probably need to see how many accounts we have, make sure everything's
You get certain standalones like Marine Corps League and American Legion and that kind of stuff. And then, you get all these just spirit organizations that are, I don't know why they even exist.
They did change the charitable donation to something like $25,000, so you have to give that much to really write it off. Otherwise, it's a standard deduction, so it's not as important. But they could still come back and say if you claimed it, that if it wasn't. So I think we need to talk about it a little bit more. Anything else?
I got an unrelated item. We lost one of our drivers. He was more or less a standby, on-call driver. Had some complaints of reckless driving. So we would like to get another standby driver. Any of you folks that don't work want to volunteer? John, you don't work?
I'm busier than I've ever been. I don't make it to the funerals very often anymore.
This is just a standby, on call.
I'll ask my wife. I did it for 2 years, and I agree it's pretty intensive. I mean, it's from sunrise to sunset, and it's pretty busy.
This won't be like that. It would just be if we got an overflow, and then we got 10 or 12 that day, and they're all scattered around. We might need somebody one day a week to pick up 3 or 4. It's not a...
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Any other
I'm done.
items? Okay. Anybody else? All right, we'll close citizen input. Petitions and Communications, remodel update. Leah would be you, I believe.
Absolutely. I love to give the update. So just as I gave a brief update last month on how the remodel project was going. This month we have received we have received bids. We're waiting for one particular contractor to get back to us. So we're well within our scope and what we expected this to be able to be completed on. So everything is on task there. Obviously, for us, we've got the timing issue, so getting the work done. But things are moving along. I've also we had one of our manufacturers for the furniture had a substantial lead time, so that order's been placed, so we can get those types of things going. There were a couple items that weren't an availability issue or anything like that. So we're hoping by the beginning of next week we can sit down and make a decision. I'll have all the information in front of us and see what we will do, but I will certainly pass along and give another update next month. But so far everything's we're on schedule. So Treasurer's still operating out of that office, so we couldn't get in there today even if we had everything going, but we're sitting pretty good.
We have our money spent by September 30th.
That's the plan. That's why we're pushing.
And it has to be spent by the 30th or else.
Correct.
They say there'll be some more for next year, so they're working on it right now. It's in the budget. I believe there's several of the budgets have it in there. So, any questions? All right. Old business transportation program. Vehicle use. Do you have any?
All right, I've got an update on trying to get some money out of the VA. And I've talked to Dave Platko, who's the transportation guy up at the VA. And Dave says that's probably not going to happen. The problem is the legality. The way the thing's written, the only person that can get money from the VA for transportation is a qualified veteran. Now, not everybody's qualified, which I didn't even know that. You have to have a service-related disability to be qualified to get travel pay to the VA hospital.
Only if it goes for that disability.
Right, if your appointment is for that disability, of which you're service-related, yeah. So, and that sort of complicates things. So it would be very difficult for us to say, hey, we took 42 guys there last month, we want $250 or whatever. It's not going to happen. So, that's that, and I think everybody probably already knew the answer to that. So there ain't going to be anything coming from the VA for our county transportation program.
Any other issues about the vans? There's something about abuse down here. Have we had some reports?
Might be a slightly strong word, but that was what I wanted to articulate exactly what was communicated to me. So I think, and it may not be something we necessarily have to discuss and finalize today, but I think long term it would certainly be warranted to come up with some procedures to help give some guidance. When I've had 2 phone calls this week about situational issues with someone trying to get a ride, and it would be nice to have some sort of a procedure or policy to resort to and look at, so I can be able, so I'm able to speak exactly to a certain situation. So I think, like I said, overall, it might not be completely 100% solved today, but certainly on the scope of things to work on, I would think that would certainly be warranted.
So we don't have a driver policy right now?
Correct.
The whole transportation policy.
Well, what happened to this document I have here that says...
It was just a draft.
Okay. So what we need to do is go forward with this draft and figure out what we want to do. But there needs to be something. Here's a question for you. Are the vehicles dispatched? In the old days in the Army and the motor pool, here's your keys, here's your log. You write down where that vehicle goes, how many miles it is, who's driving it, you bring it back.
Could you do that? Yeah.
Do we have a log for it?
Yeah.
Each car.
Each car has a log? Okay, so if I'm a driver, I'm not saying, hey, I need the car, and then I take it over to Mount Pleasant to go to the casino for a day.
That ain't gonna happen.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't figure it was, but,
No,
yeah, that's an extreme.
No.
So, yeah, but I'm not going to Myers to get my groceries and,
No.
okay.
I had written up, say, alcohol guidelines. I had given it to Deb Russell. She passed it off to whoever the attorney was at that time. And he, it was sent back to me with some corrections and all.
Do you have a copy of it?
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. They scratched off the, I put in there, please try not to bring a service dog. What we had at one time. Stella had a service dog and we brought it with him.
Yeah.
And later that day, they picked up another person after the Stella had a service dog, got home. And she's very allergic to dogs.
Yeah.
And so I put in there, please, don't bring it to the attorney, said, no, you can't.
Well, certainly, yeah, legally, service dogs can go anywhere the individual goes.
I just want to, as a courtesy,
Yeah. We probably need to get some procedures that the drivers need to.
I'll bring it next meeting.
We probably need, also on that transportation policy, is talking about driving responsibly, driving within the speed limit, not driving recklessly, but
Yeah.
you're driving veterans around for one thing. The name
one
is
I
on
heard
the
about was
side.
somebody who got videotaped driving on 675 at I don't know how many miles an hour. So
What I had written on my guideline, strictly for the passengers. I didn't put nothing in there about the driver. At the time, I didn't know we had to stop. Which we encountered, which Greg encountered, last week or something.
We have our name on the side of the van, so everybody knows
That's
where we're
us,
from.
yeah.
And then if we're not driving correctly,
Well, Fred, if you got a
Yeah.
copy of what you got together, bring it in, and I will scan it and send it out to everybody. And I think we got to start with something John put together here, but I don't see a lot in on driver procedures.
We'll just reporting the incident reporting.
Well, I see there are 2 daily logs kept, yeah, on incidents. So there's a start. But I think we need to have something in writing on procedure.
They should be passed out to all the passengers as well.
What's that?
They should be passed out to all the passengers as well.
Yeah.
and we probably have to have some disciplinary action in there if somebody is not following a warning, 2 warnings,
Well-
whatever.
You know, I hate to say this, but it's pretty hard to discipline a volunteer.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do? I'm sorry, you're not volunteering anymore. That's about all you can do.
One thing is referring to the passenger.
Right.
Well, yeah, well, the same thing with a rider. Okay, I'm sorry, you're not going to be transported anymore. That's pretty easy.
But the-
Yes, it was.
If there is liability, if we get in an accident, it will come up to the they'll go for everybody. It won't just be the
Huge liability. They ain't going to have to go after the guy driving. They're going to go after the county.
right. They go for the deep pockets.
Yeah.
Usually the county. So, I think the policy would be good to get that done.
Thank you.
Does the county have non-profit? Not a joke.
Yeah, Fred, if you bring that over, I'll send it out. And John, you still got that.
That's on the county website. The county city.
Any new business? I just had that one. I have 2 items actually. The one about getting the name. I was thinking I'll probably go to the clerk's office and that name should be registered as maybe passing away at a certain time in the military. There must be some records in the county if he's a county resident. They passed away in World War II to confirm it. It sounds like it's pretty definite. It's on the church roster, and so I can look into it further.
Yeah, I would ensure he was a county resident, you know. It's
Yeah.
possible he had moved somewhere else
Yeah.
beforehand.
And I'm not sure what our policy is, if they have to be a resident as of the time they went into the service. We have added some Afghani and Iraqi veterans, recently too. There's several names up there too. That I think, I'm trying to remember who paid for those. If that's council did or not.
The
It's been a
county
couple
should
years.
be,
It's been a
the
couple
county
years.
should be paying for those.
Yeah. Yeah.
The council would want that. We've been going after it.
Yeah. All right, the other item I had was the meeting I was just at Saturday in Clark County, Veterans and Military Services Committee meeting. So this is the National Association of Counties, and they have a Veterans and Military Services Committee. They also have lobbyists in Washington that work for NACO and work with the legislators to get good legislation. We had a session on connecting the unconnected, county efforts to connect veterans to local, state, and federal resources. A lot of veterans out there don't know what's available to them, and there's a lot of things available to them. So
That's
the word is they have veteran service officers, and different counties had different methods of getting the word out to contact veterans to find them. And then the second session was the Elizabeth Dole Foundation supporting military families and caregivers. It's Bob Dole, who was a World War II veteran, and his wife started the foundation to help military families in-home care to veterans who are injured, ill, or wounded, unable to otherwise care for themselves. So it's some extra supplemental money. This was from, I believe, somewhere in California. But that there is a foundation out there, and they will help veterans or their families. The next session was ending veteran homelessness, community solutions. The people from California have a lot of homeless veterans. I know we have some here, but they have lots of them, and the weather's a little bit better out there too. So it was their answer to trying to answer the homelessness problem. And there has been federal money available. It goes to the Mid-Michigan Community Action Agency, which is out of Clara, but it has an office here in Bay City to help homeless veterans that I don't know if all the veterans know about, especially the homeless ones. That's down on Washington by Columbus. And then the next one is returning from combat deployment, what counties can do for returning service members. Veteran, coming back from service, getting back into the community, and this was from Oregon. They had a way to reintegrate them back into the community. So these are all people that work on different things at these county meetings, because you can compare notes and see what other counties are doing, and then you can tell the people in Washington, our lobby people, what to talk to the legislators about. Blue Water Navy, they talked about that a little bit. It looks like that's finally going to go through, that the Vietnam vets that were offshore will get the benefits for Agent Orange exposure, which is a multitude of different illnesses. So there'll be probably some more claims being filed, as Mark. And actually, I've been doing these compensation and pension, and I've been seeing quite a few Agent Orange. So the word is out that a lot of these illnesses have been added: Parkinson's, diabetes, heart disease. There's a whole range of them, and so people are filing claims now and getting their benefits from the Agent Orange exposure. And now the Navy guys can get it also. Maybe Marines too. They were on mine a lot. So that was interesting out there. Any other new business? Miscellaneous? Announcements. The PLOV is having their state convention August 3rd and 4th at Bay Valley. Got a call from Mr. Javitsky asking us to put an ad in his book. If anybody wants to put an ad in their book, they're looking for ads for their program book. I'll have to talk to our county commissioners to see if I can get some funds out of them. I'm looking at Ernie.
You get $2,500 to do it.
They have $150 full color ads, full page non-color $125, half page $75, quarter page $60, $25 for business cards. So if anybody wants to donate to the PLOV, and they need it this week, sometime this week, because they're going to print. So, just to let anybody who wants to donate.
I know Congressman Kildee's doing a Veterans Day out at State Park again. I believe it's the third annual. It's putting on the 17th of August. Open time, I think it's noon to 1500, I believe. They do a fishing thing out there, and they have a lot of vendors and fishing for the kids and kayaking and different things. Cope with PTSD and things like that stuff for families. So it's quite the event. For next month's meeting, I'll make sure we have flyers here so we can remind everybody prior to that Saturday.
There's some over at the Legion.
I think that's the two way around this year.
It's July. Oh, it is.
Yeah, because they're rotating around to various.
So July 11th. Okay.
We have flyers here.
Thank you. I know where that is.
And if anybody wants to run a bus trip for Veterans Day, I'm not doing it this year. I got a bad knee, I'm going to have surgery. I can't do it. But Veterans Day, we've done it like every other year. Last year, 2 years ago, was the 35th anniversary of the wall. So they have ceremonies in the morning at Arlington. In the afternoon, they're at the Vietnam Wall. Usually get speakers that come in and honor a lot of the people. It's a nice ceremony. So it's a 12-hour bus ride, but usually we stay 3-4 days. But if anybody wants to take hold of that, come see me. I'll give them all the information. Any other new business? Announcements? Motion to adjourn would be in order.
Motion to adjourn until next month.
Second. Support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.